What you got, Brian?
I'm kind of like the latter as well. Like at first, I'd get a little ticked off. I'd kind of say a 4-letter word or two, but now I kind of just analyze the situation and ask the goalie, what did you see there? Like, what did you see? Like, why did that go in? Ask them, let them analyze that, and then hopefully just tell them, do better. But if it's like a routine, if it's going in, if I have another goalie, then I got to Yankee for a little bit, and let's bring some new blood in the pool and see what they can do. But before I used to go crazy sometimes, not all.
I got a question. What is your course of action for training a brand new goalie, someone who's never been between the post?
Oh man, let me go first because Brian's gonna have a better answer. I'm awful at training goalies. I don't know how you guys have turned out so well. Maybe I could thank Brian for that. But for me, first off, I look for a mindset or a set of skills that somebody should have if I even consider them to be goalie. And for me, the top two are mental, right? To see how they act or react to certain things when I've watched them play. And the second most important thing is like fast twitch, like being able to move their hands very quickly. But once that happens, to me, it's a game of repetition. That's the most that I really can do or will do with goalies. I'm fortunate enough to have Brian, so I'm sure Brian can elaborate a lot better on that question.
So, Jack, your question is what do we do with goalies that never been in the goal? Like, how do we train them up?
Yeah.
Man, I think for me, I talk to them a lot. I kind of get where they're coming from, what they think their strengths and weaknesses are, what they're afraid of. When it comes to legs, like Beto said, it's repetition. Just kind of take it slow, like knowing how they should be doing egg beater, their base, where they should be in the goal. But a really, really fresh goalie, I mean, you can start them off in the shallow, just getting used to blocking the ball. Because a lot of kids, they are afraid of, they're afraid of contact. They're afraid of someone else launching a ball that's going about 30 or 40 miles an hour at them. So, just kind of just going through those steps, having them block, having them pass. And then if they make it, then you gradually go from there where you implement them in the deep. But, just take it slow. Take it really slow.
I have one more question. So I know Shane used to be a goalie, right?
Yes.
So what's like? How do you think? Like, what goes through your mind when a goalie is like, oh, I want to be field now?
It depends on the age, I would say. And the reason I say that is because if there's an age group goalie that played field, I mean, all of you played field, right? I mean, Ulises, you still play field for your high school team, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I know many coaches think it's better to specialize, but especially 14 and under, I think it's okay for them to practice different positions so they get used to it. And I also think it's important for a goalie to choose to be goalie. So to answer your question directly, Ulises, it really doesn't bother me that much. I kind of embrace it as long as it works.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, in the case of in you and Jack for the past like year or two where you guys have split time and you've been in the field a little bit, I think it helps the team. I think it helps them see that you're willing to do other things to make the game go as well as possible. And I don't think many athletes would be willing to do that. Team players, that is.
Last year we had a tournament at ODP where we were short guys, and the decision was made that Uli play the whole game and I'd be in the goal. And Uli actually did hold his ground. So I think it is possible for goalies to switch between, being the goal and going to position, especially if you have the mindset?
Yeah, I like taking a goalie that was a field player first sometimes, because then they have that perspective of what it takes, and like how to run an offense or how to be implemented into an offense. They can tell when a guy's going to pass or drive. But I agree with Beto at the 14 and under level. If you want to be on the field, great. If you want to be goalie, great. We'll switch you off. High school level, it's a little bit different. Like if you want to go, I think it's more special. What is speciality? But if I'm up 10, if we're up 10 goals, then hey, you get out there, play a little field. I've had goalies where they're like, oh man, that's tough. I just want to stay in the cage. I don't want to swim up and down the pool. So that kind of reinforces that they want to be in the cage.
Uriel, you got any questions?
Um,
It could be anything, man. You could ask Brian what his favorite cartoon character is.
He-Man.
yeah, what is it?
He-Man. You don't know about He-Man. That's for old people.
Basically, so from a coach perspective, what do you want to train the most for goalies? Like, is it legs, the passing, the blocking?
For me, it's the mental aspect. For me, it took me a long time to realize that I wanted a goalie to be aggressive, that I wanted a goalie to be more willing to take chances. And the problem with me is I needed to accept that once they take that chance, it's 50-50. The ball might go in. And it took me probably 10 years of my coaching career to really want aggressive goalies. And I would say all of you guys have turned out to be super aggressive goalies. That ball comes out, you guys are going out there trying to get it. You guys get multiple steals a game. So for me, it's easily the mental aspect.
For me, it's a combination. Like skills first, legs, game time situation. I try to focus on everything. Like all the practices, like we have to get some shots on goalies. Later in the week, we're doing 6-on-5. We're working on passing. I try to put it all together within that week. Aggressive goalie, like Beto said, you're taking your chances. I know with Susan, she killed it. I think 2 years ago for JOs. I didn't see her play too much this last summer because Nicole went up with her, but I asked her to be more aggressive, and she was getting 2 to 3 steals a game, doing fantastic. But then on the flip side, she would go for a 50-50 ball, and then that would lead to a goal that could have been prevented. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword. You will take your chances if they're too aggressive and if you don't hone them in.
What needs to happen for you to pull your goalie?
Boy, I don't know if I've done it that much, to be honest. Have I ever done it to you guys?
I got pulled once, but I was having a bad game.
Yeah, like honestly, throughout my career, I think I've only pulled a goalie maybe 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's got to be the same thing. It's got to be the lack of focus. If a goalie's letting in just like easy, awful shots, then that's really what's going to do it for me, whether we have a backup goalie or not.
I haven't had the luxury to have more than one goalie, so for me, it's tough. I would if they have if they have like a, for lack of a better word, they have a shit fit, or if they're just not listening, if they're talking back, then I would ask a field player to play. I'd rather take my chances than leave a goalie there that is not listening. But yeah, it has to be drastic in order for me to pull a goalie, and I'd have to have 2 of them, preferably.
I got a couple random questions for you guys. I'm gonna start with Uriel. Uriel, give me your top 3 foods during the quarantine.
Pizza, chips. Honestly, whatever's in the fridge, I'll eat.
Yeah.
Ulises, what you got?
Quesadillas de pollo. Well, they're really good. Tortas and pizza.
My mom's been cooking a lot, so we've had brats a couple times. Those are great. We had lamb chops for Easter, and we had like pork chops. Those are probably the top 3.
What about you, Brian? Brian, did you guys know that Brian's a mini chef? He likes to cook. Do you guys know that?
For real?
Yeah.
I try. I mean, I don't have this great physique for no reason, Yuli. I actually today I made some a burger called, well, they're in the fridge. They're called the Juicy Lucy. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they originated in Minnesota. Is where you take a burger patty and you flatten it out. You put some cheese in the middle and then throw another burger patty, and then you kind of seal it, and that way the cheese is inside and not on the outside. So I got that's what I'm making today. Tear it
Can you
up.
mail some over?
I got an extra one, Jack. I'll save it for you.
Gotcha.
Next random question, Uriel. What were your favorite cartoons as a kid?
Honestly, just SpongeBob. SpongeBob all the way.
All the way. All right. Ulises, what do you got?
I watched a lot of Dragon Ball and Naruto.
Oh, Dragon Ball.
Jack?
Martha Speaks.
Oh my God! What?
Martha Speak.
It's a show about a dog who can talk, and it did a lot of it helped me with math and learning the alphabet when I was little.
Was that show on the Disney Channel?
No, that was PBS Kids, bro.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
We didn't have
Completely
cable.
recorded.
We didn't have cable, so all I got to watch was the educational shows.
Okay. What do you got, Brian? What were your top 3, man?
Ooh, Tom and Jerry. This is all old people cartoons. Tom and Jerry was no words. It was just music. What else? He-Man, obviously, and I'm gonna go with the Looney Tunes because that's those are the
Yeah.
top 3.
Yeah, I was gonna put that one up there, like Bugs Bunny. That one's definitely up there. I caught the tail end of the Transformers, so that one was pretty cool. And you remember Voltron?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. See, these kids don't know nothing about Voltron.
yeah. You gotta be at least 30 to know Voltron.
It
Yeah,
sounds like Power
YouTube.
Rangers.
That's probably where Power Rangers came from, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you Google it, once we get off of this, you guys, Voltron cartoon, something for you guys to watch during this quarantine. All right, last random question I got for you guys, Uriel. If you were to describe yourself as a type of animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Ooh. I'll say a giraffe because I'm the tallest in my family.
Oh.
I'm a bit too tall.
That's
You're the
nice.
tallest
Okay.
in your family. You're like
I'm the
5'5".
tallest. I'm 5'9", 5'8".
Oh, what?
Well, yeah, funny that you say that because the ODP water polo, the ODP goalies coach, he called you a giraffe. Nolan,
Oh.
he said, "Oh, that kid, he's a giraffe. He's long. He got legs for days." So he described you as a giraffe. So funny that you describe yourself the same way.
What do you got, Ulises?
I would say the goat. No, I'm just saying. No. I would kind of say a chimp because I really don't care. I'll just do whatever comes into my mind, and sometimes I can be pretty dumb.
I've
I love
always
the
tried.
honesty.
I've always tried to be a mongoose. In India, they fight snakes to protect their family. So I thought, as a goalie, you're trying to protect the cage and protect the score. So I just have to do what I need to do as a mongoose.
All right, good stuff.
All right, boys. Well, that concludes episode 3 of Bar In video. CPD YouTube. This is going to go up shortly. Thank you for your time, and maybe in the future we'll get you guys back on here. But thanks for your time. Oh, Yuli, last thing, show Beto your shirt.
Oh.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, Yuli, let's hop on Warzone.
And with that,
Oh my God!
we're closing. See you guys.
This is a slap, Ulises. This is a slap via Zoom.